Showing up for the show.
Absolutely. First off, another day where the Democrats forgot their job. All they want to do anymore is just attack Trump. You would lower prescription drug prices, no interest. Securing the border, no interest. Protecting our security, passing a budget, no interest. It's crazy what these Democrats are doing.
Rick, Senator Scott, I got to go here with you because the New York Times today has a headline: Trump envoys push Ukraine to commit to investigating Biden. That is false. I have all of the emails. I just had Tim Alberta admit the Trump envoys were pushing Ukraine to investigate Burisma, which is a crooked company run by a crooked oligarch who happens to have employed Hunter Biden for $50,000 a month for reasons we don't know why. But Hunter Biden nor Joe Biden are mentioned in any of these emails, but they are the talking heads are trying to make people believe that they are.
Yeah. First off, why don't they slow down and get the facts? There's still no one has suggested to me that this name the law that's been violated here. I mean, the only thing they care about is they hate the result of 2016. The Democrats hate that result, and they're trying to do whatever they can. If they can get rid of that, that'd be great. And if not, how can they impact Trump's reelection in 2020? That's all they're doing. They don't want to solve any problem.
Well, I want the Senate to do what the House is not doing, which is hold hearings that everyone can watch. I want Lindsey Graham at Judiciary. I know you're not on Judiciary, but when you see Lindsey, I want him to bring in Hunter Biden. I want him to bring in Burisma people. I want him to bring in every Ukrainian they know. I want them to bring in Manafort from jail and manacles. I want them to bring in everyone and find out, did Ukraine have any connection to Russia's attack on our election in 2016? Because it used to be we cared about that. I cared about it then. I care about it now. I'll care about it next year because it's going to happen again. And probably not just Russia, and we're not ready for it. And I also think we ought to maybe pass something like the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act to prevent the children of powerful people from working on boards of compromised companies.
Right? How crazy that your child can go out and you can take them on military planes with you, help them get a deal. And it's crazy. So absolutely, they shouldn't be. The kids of powerful politicians shouldn't be doing this stuff. I know right now Richard Burr's Intelligence Committee, is investigating exactly what happened. And I'll be glad to talk to, I saw Lindsey this week, and I'll be glad to talk to Lindsey. I know he cares about this. I mean, we need to get the facts out, right? In the case of Trump, we haven't seen anything to suggest he did anything wrong. But with Biden, even Biden said he did it.
Yeah, the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act was designed in the aftermath of some scandals where bribes were being paid by American companies. I think it was in Africa by an airline producer, but I can't recall exactly. And to me, disclosure has always been the transparency. Stephanie Roll was just ragging
Right.
me online saying, your son worked for Scott Pruitt. I can't tell you how many times I've told people my son worked for Reince Priebus, Scott Pruitt. He works at the Department of State now. He's been in RNC politics for years. He's an adult son. And I've always told him one thing, Rick Scott: never work for a foreign government. Never, ever work for a foreign government or a foreign entity, because that's where you end up dirty. I mean, how simple is this for people to get?
Right. And how can anybody complain about transparency? I mean, tell people, tell people exactly what you're doing, and then they can make a decision.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you, if Eric Trump had gone to work for Burisma for $50,000 a month, and I don't think, what would we be looking at right now?
Oh gosh, the double standard here is ridiculous. The double standard with the Clintons, the double standard with Biden. Look, at least I'll tell you what, Bill Barr is at least trying to figure out exactly what happened and put the facts out and figure out if somebody did anything wrong. I'm very appreciative of what Barr is trying to do.
Here's my speculation, Senator, and I'd like to get your assessment of this speculation. I think that Barr, Durham, and Horowitz are very close to telling us what they know about the FISA abuse. I believe what they know is that many Americans participated in compromising the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act standards, which I used to apply when I was at the Department of Justice, and that at a minimum, discipline will come down on people, embarrassment, and possibly indictments. And that part of this is a sideshow in an attempt to head off at the pass Barr, Durham, and Horowitz. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think Barr's going to get the facts out, and we're going to find out if there's an abuse. And here's what all of us expect: if somebody's done something wrong, they ought to be held accountable, and that's exactly what Barr's going to do. I mean, look, what we all hope is nobody's ever done anything wrong, but if they have, they ought to be held accountable.
Now, talk to me a little bit about the actual text messages you saw and how we get a transcript released. Congressman Jim Jordan wants a transcript of yesterday's hearing released. I've read every text message. They don't mention Joe Biden. They don't mention Hunter Biden. They say we want you to investigate Burisma, and Burisma is dirty, as I've told you. There is no smoking gun here. Again, it's firing blanks. But I think the transcript. Jim Jordan said, "Boy, if you read the transcript, you'll see Adam Schiff embarrassed himself. You'll see a lot of good stuff." I don't think Jim Jordan said that exactly. I heard that from someone else. What do we do to get a transcript release?
How ridiculous! I mean, Schiff says there, "Well, we've got to have a transcript of Trump's call," but he doesn't want to put a transcript out of what he's been doing. I mean, what a double standard. We ought to. I mean, let's let the public know. Let the public know exactly what's going on, and let everybody make a decision, and then everybody will be held accountable.
I'd say to myself, if we just get all the facts out about what happened at the FBI, the Department of Justice, the intelligence community, who said what to whom, and why did they do things, and why did Hunter Biden get $50,000 a month, we'll be fine. But I just want the facts out. Senator, if I can turn to a substantive matter, let's do something different. I have been reading Graham Allison's The Thucydides Trap after talking to Admiral Stavridis about it, and it's actually kind of scary. The behemoth that is the People's Republic of China. And I'm not panicked. I just realize that they represent 1.4 billion people. They have such extraordinary economic energy. And Huawei is out there, and Tom Cotton, your colleague, believes it is an arm of the state. I'm going to be talking with Microsoft's Brad Smith, their president and chief legal officer at the Nixon Library today at 1:30 California time about this. And I'm curious, do we have a chance against China? I just look at China the way that that people must have looked at the United States in the 1880s and said, "Oh my God, we won't stop this country."
Let's remember this. It's called Communist China. President Xi is a dictator. And let's just look at who they are. Step one, we brought them into the WTO, and they've never opened up their markets like they're supposed to. They're stealing billions of dollars of technology every year, and they're not stopping. They monitor everybody's social media account, but they cannot figure out where the fentanyl is coming from in China. They know exactly where it's coming from. That they're sending to America to kill American citizens. They're taking American jobs, American citizens. I was just in Hong Kong. Here's what they're doing. I talked to one business guy that's opposing what Beijing is trying to do in Hong Kong, which in Hong Kong they have basic rights given to them in 1997 in the turnover from Britain to China. All right, they're not complying with it. The right to assembly. They say, "Oh no, you can't assemble." So when you assemble now, it's a violation of the law. Now and then they say, "Oh, you can't wear a mask," because what the people that are wearing a mask is they're worried that what's going to happen to their families. This business guy told me that in China they sent his sister down to tell him, if you don't stop, your nephew's going to prison for life. Not because he did anything wrong, because you're opposing Xi, who's an absolute dictator. These poor students and protesters, they're getting shot with tear gas canisters from above, which was not the intent of those things. They're supposed to be on the ground. They're being shot with a rubber disc, big rubber disc, not bullets, rubber disc at close range. You saw one protester get shot in the chest. I mean, this is just an unbelievable crackdown. And once they get done with Hong Kong, then it's Taiwan, then they'll focus on Vietnam. Eventually, they're going to come to America. This is a totalitarian regime that is not to be trusted.
All right, given that that's the worst case scenario, and expansive. Now, some old China hands tell me, don't worry, the Middle Kingdom does not want anything except its periphery secure. That's the most benign view.
Then why are they in Venezuela?
That's it. And I know the facts. Graham Allison is the alarmist view, and others have the more pacific view. My question is, how are we being serious when we're involved in text messages instead? And by the way, Hunter Biden's wrapped up in China too, and I don't know if that's
right.
dirty or not.
Let's get the facts. We should know, how did he get the deal he got? Have you gotten a deal like that from China?
No, I don't. Again, I think it's best not to take foreign money from anyone ever.
Right.
I just think it's so easy to stay away from this.
Right. But we've got to understand, they're not our friend. They're an adversary. They're an unbelievable human rights violator. Look, a million Uyghurs are in prison because of their religion. A million people
It is
are just put in
astonishing.
prison because of their religion.
It is. So my last question, how come we don't have a Department of Defense appropriation? When we are in a civilizational competition, I'm not going to say battle, we're not. We can co-evolve and we can get along and we can avoid conflict, but not if we disarm and not if we approve one continuing resolution after another that cripples the Department of Defense.
We passed it out of committee in the Senate, but Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, and we agreed to caps back in July when we did the debt ceiling. So I don't know, the Democrats want to focus on impeachment, but make sure we get a defense budget, that we can make sure we spend our money the right way, make sure we can defend the country. Oh, and they're too busy impeaching Trump.
It's pretty shameful. Senator Rick Scott, good to talk to you. I hope when you see Lindsey, tell him we need some hearings on all of this, and we need them now because Adam Schiff, who is the Kramer, you watched Seinfeld, didn't you, Senator?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Kramer is Adam Schiff. He's Congressman Kramer. It's just kind of a clown show, but we need real hearings because Americans want real answers. And if something wrong was done here, I want to know about it. But I want to know about Ukrainian corruption. I want to know about the China deal. I want to know. I want transparency. Senator Scott, Rick Scott, thank you, my friend. Thank you.